We can still be Lakota, and we can still go out there and do everything that people are doing. We can become scientists. We can become managers. We can become, whatever, entrepreneurs. And I think that's the attitude we need to take, to finally accept our history and understand it, but not let anything drag us down.
And that's kind of like a key ingredient right there.
Yes, absolutely.
It's kind of like the process of unfreezing oneself from the past, or at least the victimhood of the past.
Right.
You mentioned that you were also in the process of reclaiming your spirituality.
Yes.
What does that mean? Tell me more about this.
It's been brought to my attention. I had never thought of it before, but an older man said, we weren't religious people, but we were spiritual people. And if you really look at it, not so much now, but in the past, holy men were the carriers of, and these holy men weren't ordained. They became holy men because they did things, and the community respected them and revered them in a lot of ways. And that's how including healing, including advising, great services that they provide. And then I heard Lakota philosophy. I never thought of that. People would say Lakota mythology or anything else, but not Lakota philosophy. And yet it is there, the great values of the Lakota people and all of that. That's part of the spirituality of the people. And the way they treat each other and their understanding of each other is part of the spirituality. So it isn't, there's never been a Ayatollah or a Pope or a bishop among the Indian people. They had very respected, widely, intertribally respected holy men, but nobody, there was no dogma. It was, that they would have you believe this, but it's up to you. We respect you and your mind and your soul. And so that's what the spirituality is. And a lot of the younger spiritualists are trying to turn it into a religion. And a lot of people say, well, you destroyed our religion. In fact, I said that earlier, But you can't destroy our spirituality. That's in our soul. But you destroyed our ability to practice it. There could no longer be a Sundance. There could no longer be Uipi ceremonies or any other healing ceremonies. It was outlawed by the government, and they were strict about it. So that's how they tried to kill off that religious aspect of our lives.
Well, that's so sad. This is a sad part of history, and it seems like it repeats itself through history. Is that when we're afraid of something, we push it away, we condemn it or prohibit it, and in this case, it seems the same. So you're saying that the spirituality is in process of being recovered?
I think yes, and I think that even Christians among the tribes, and that Christianity is taken a strong hold in the South. There are a lot of native people who are Baptists, and up in the northern tribes, there are certain tribes that are very strongly Catholic, let's say, and others that are very strongly Episcopalian, and the Mormons have their foothold somewhere. But even there, you're finding more and more. First of all, a respect on the part of those churches for the sacredness of Lakota and other tribes, symbols, practices, a greater tolerance on the part of those churches. And so it's nothing to see a priest saying Mass and incorporating, let's say, the sacred pipe in there. Not as the tribes would, but paying respect to it, to the pipe.
Now, how about chiefs, elders, and wise men? Are they recognized? Are their current elders, wise men recognized throughout the tribes?
I think all the tribes have elders. They don't call them chiefs, although in some tribes they'll refer to them as chiefs, because in most instances they don't hold the power of governance. But they are very powerful in their influence, and usually are invariably good people, who can advise wisely, advise other leaders. And so you have those in all tribes. And you have some powerful holy men, too, who are recognized in their community, first of all, within their tribe, and then among other tribes as well, who carry an awful lot of influence and for the good. Like I say, there are no ayatollahs, nothing saying necessarily bad about the ayatollahs, but you don't find that power.
How would that look like? If I wanted to go and to sit down and have a talk with a holy man, is that possible today?
I think if you went to a reservation and you knew of a certain holy man you wanted to talk to, certainly you could arrange to talk with him or her, a holy person, I should say. Mm-hmm. And that person would certainly listen to you. But you'd find one thing, first of all, is that most likely you will find a person with a great sense of humor. And, just like the Dalai Lama has a wicked sense of humor. He's just wonderful, and he's a warm person. And that's what you'll find among holy men, too. And a lot of times they'll tease you. You come up and they'll sound just serious as heck and tell you whatever they want to tell you.
With a straight face.
Kind of play around with you. But they don't do this without any evil intent. It's to have a little fun. But they would not evade talking about anything that you wanted to know to give you an understanding of what they're all about and what the people are all about. Mm-hmm. If you came with good intents too, they can tell that, I think.
Well, there you go. That's really key right there, isn't it?
What?
If a person comes with good intention, it could be experienced, felt, and known.
They are very spiritual people, and they could see. A good book that I'd like to recommend, one good book, there are a number of them, but I'm currently working on a project to get the book on read, recorded, and I'm part of that. But it's called Black Elk Speaks.
Yeah, I have it. It's written by Neihart.
Right, John Neihart, G. Neihart, a wonderful, wonderful man, a great poet, and just a great writer. And but I think that the story he tells, and one of the things I'm addressing in there is that he's been accused of taking license with Black Elk's words. That if it was told by the old man Black Elk, and to that old man's son, who wasn't a Iyeska, he was a Iyeska in that he interpreted, but I think he was full blood himself. And from his son, who could speak English, to John Neihart's young daughter, who could take shorthand, and then John had to write from those notes, but although he heard them. And so there was criticism, that Black Elk never really said those words, but I really doubt that his words are beautiful. They are eloquent. And but oratory was always important to the Lakota leaders as well as other tribal leaders. Mm-hmm. The oratory of a chief was a good part of his leadership. And so that was very important. So Neihart's use of metaphor, let's say, was not an exaggeration, or it was not taking license with Neihart. He was right on the money. He was telling it better than, let's say, an anthropologist would ever tell it. Mm. He wasn't trying to be scientific and all of this. He was doing his best and Nyhart was a spiritualist himself. And so when he was talking to a powerful holy man, they understood each other. They knew each other from the very beginning. And so, that's kind of what it is.
So that's an example of the power of narrative and storytelling.
Absolutely. The oral histories, the oral traditions of the tribes required, wonderful storytelling and eloquence.
So how does that impact Native American youth, storytelling and narrative today?
Well, right now, you're really competing now. There isn't a child in Indian country, I doubt, that doesn't know a computer, doesn't use a computer every day, and has access to the internet and to TV and everything. And that kind of eats away at your own story, your own history, I think, or it could, if the tribes don't make an effort to preserve and pass on their histories and their cultures, including the oral histories.
Oral history, well, you're passing on life. That's life.
That's life.
And this is how you pass this life on from one generation to another.
Yeah, and in the right context, in the right spirit, not to make that child resentful or to make that child, to discourage that child from anything. It's got to be told accurately, dispassionately, as fact.
So something so important in history, and I'm going to be relaying on it. I have the tremendous responsibility to transmit in narrative form a story, and what a gift it is to not influence that story with my own biases, with my own view and opinions.
I can understand, too, someone telling, about, let's say, the slaughter at Wounded Knee, and not feeling in your soul and not coming out of your voice, how you feel about that, the disgust, you must feel about that, about the slaughter of men, women, and infants, by the U.S. cavalry. Mm-hmm. And so, you see, you even get it from when I talk about it, because I can't always talk about it dispassionately. Mm-hmm. But again, no matter how passionately, you're still being truthful, because it was that bad.
Yeah, so it's another example of how life and history are living on through your words.
Right.
Wow, Chuck, you are a powerful man.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. I'm an old man.
Well, then you're an old, powerful Iyeska.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Okay, good. So Charles, I ask my guests on this program for their message to humanity. So I turn to you, Charles Trimble. What is your message that you would like to deliver to humanity?
My message would be, I think, beyond Native American needs, to understand other people, to understand, as I would like them to understand Lakotas and all Native peoples in this country, but all Native peoples in the world, the indigenous peoples who were conquered and colonized and had to survive destruction, and that they would be understood and assisted, with the what's available in the United Nations and various other arenas to help those people. That would be my message.
Okay, humanity. Understanding other Native peoples around this world.
Yes, especially the situation with the indigenous peoples of, especially the Western Hemisphere. And, well, it's got to include Africa, but sometimes I just wonder what can be done there.
Chuck Trimble, thank you so much for joining us on Authenticity Radio today.